Hello, guys, and welcome back. It's been a minute, but we had some stuff going on personally. It's all good. We're back. We're gonna give you guys a little bit more content. We're gonna be making more videos. Yeah. Welcome back to the pod, Luis. Welcome back, bro.
I'm excited, man. It's been a minute. Like Michael said, personal stuff. Life happens. But we're back. We're gonna try to keep it consistent. As you can see, last time we were on here, I think we were top of the table, and now that we're back, we're still top of the table. So it's beautiful out here, man. So we're gonna catch up a little bit on the league, on everything that's going on. Talk about a little bit about what transfer window. We missed that, the league, and whatnot. But I'm excited, man.
Absolutely, guys. Today we're gonna stick to Arsenal. Like Luis mentioned, we are top of the league. Something that I was looking back at a couple of videos before the season, like preseason, and I know me and him were just hoping to even just get top four. So with the transfer window in the summer and the transfer window in January, my first question to you would be, how do you rate, now that we've seen some of these players play with an Arsenal kit, how do you rate this January transfer window thus far?
So from the beginning, I was upset because obviously we had Modric twerking for us the whole time. My man was posting everything, retweeting, saying like "let me out." But at the end of the day, money talks, and he's an expensive signing, and it so far is not turning out to be good for Chelsea. If you were to ask me this question as soon as the transfer window closed, I would have been upset. I would have been like, he's a great player because I've seen a few games with him in Champions League and he looked great, but Chelsea's going through it. I think he would have fit perfectly under Arteta's team, but bringing in Trossard, man, so far what I've seen, he's an amazing player, man. I've always liked him at Brighton. I know he had a little falling with the coach. Mitoma took his spot, and like rightfully so because he's balling out. But I'm excited, man. He's already bagged a few assists. I know he's had a chance. I know he scored a banger that they took away because of VAR, but which is a BS call, but whatever. Um, I'm excited for him, man. Gives Martinelli a breather. Without Jesus, him and Martinelli switching up top, false nine out the wing looks great. Other than that, Jorginho. At first, I was skeptical about Jorginho because obviously we needed a replacement for Thomas, and Thomas is made of noodles, man. He's always injured, and I love the guy. And you can see, like today we played, and you can see Jorginho. Obviously, he's done really good his last few games, but you can see that once Thomas comes in, the team just plays like it was a scrimmage out there. And I know the team was already dried out and they were like tired, but Jorginho is amazing and he's done a lot of interceptions and great passes. But you need the physicality in the middle to help out the rest of the team, help out Odegaard, Xhaka. Because Xhaka with Jorginho was a little, at first it was a little iffy, but great signing. We needed a backup. Hopefully Declan Rice over the summer. And then we brought I don't Kiwi. He looked great on yeah, I know this thing keeps freezing. But he looked great in with the Polish national team in the World Cup. I seen he played in our academy game. His passes and the under 20 game, his passes look great. He looks great defensively. I know he could play center back, center defensive mid. So it'd be a great addition. I think, is that it? Am I missing anyone else that we brought in? Those three. Yeah, right. So obviously I wanted to bring an extra player in, but I think we're fine, man, for the rest of the season. Jesus should be back soon, so I'll give our window a solid 8 out of 10 because with the 100 mil that we're gonna get Midrick for, we got 3-4 players, So I think we're doing good, man.
I was gonna say something similar. My biggest thing with this window before I saw these guys play for Arsenal, I would have probably give it a 6 out of 10, and the reason being is because I was very much for Mudryk. Like I wanted Mudryk to come to Arsenal, and then I was just so upset because it seemed that Chelsea had Mudryk as like a backup plan, and it almost seems like Chelsea's just buying players that Arsenal and other big clubs are linked to. Yeah, without having any sort of like vetting process beforehand. So now hindsight is 2020, of course, but like you said, we spent a total of $40 million on these two players, the two main guys, right? We spent $40 million on Jorginho and Trossard, and you see how Chelsea has spent over $500 million, and they look like they haven't spent a dime, and we look like a team, ready to compete and ready to win the league. And the I'm with you on Jorginho. Jorginho's probably not the best person and not the player that's gonna kick on to like take you to the next level, but he's gonna come in and do a job for you. He's gonna come in. He's not gonna really turn over the ball as of late. I don't want to jinx it, but he came in. He's done a job, and he's been that backup for Party. Now Partey came in, and like you said, bro, the game today. The game looked so different when he came in. He was placing the ball in perfect spots. He was getting his teammates in perfect positions. The guy, he's so important to this team. And when he's healthy, obviously he's going to be the day one starter. But when he isn't healthy, a Jorginho comes in and he does a job for you. And it's only a year, 6 months to a year deal. Like it's not someone you have to invest in long term. And for $12 million, and plus add-on is a steal. Is a steal. And then now you talk about Trossard. A lot of people, like, me and you get into it a lot with Eddie Nketiah. Like, I like Eddie Nketiah, and I think he deserves a chance. And when he scores, he's amazing. But when he's not scoring and we have to do something different is when, a guy like Trossard kind of gives you similar play as Gabriel does, where Gabriel and Martinelli can switch off. Yeah, correct. And so you were talking about a stat that it was like Martinelli has scored 3 goals and an assist in this time period.
Yeah, I think it was the last 2-3 games that Martinelli. I've been calling it, and he needs to play a center forward role. He needs to switch off like he was doing with Gabby Jesus. I remember Martinelli when he first came from Brazil, and they gave him a few minutes in the Europa League or in the small cups. They tried him as a forward, and I always liked him as a forward because thing is with him is he puts his head down a lot, and he drives. He's fast, and we know he has the quality to finish. He's a good finisher. He can header the ball. Yeah, I think ever since he's came on as a striker, and he's the last 2 games that he's played or 3 games, he's had I think 4 goals and 1 or 2 assists as a center forward with that rotational role with Trossard. So I think if they keep it like that, man, because obviously a lot of fans were questioning Martinelli's dropping form, and I get that because during the time when Gabi was in, Gabi Jesus, they were doing the same thing that they're doing with Trossard now. And then when Eddie comes in, Eddie's a totally different type of style player. And I know he wants to fill in with that role that Jesus played, but he can't. I mean, he tries, but he can't. They're different players, different styles. But I think Martinelli, if you do that role, he switches off center forward to left wing. I think he's much more deadly than just staying out on the wing. So.
And I like that you say that. I mean, it's always good. Like, I feel like it's always good for us to have the diversity, to have Eddie as a different type of striker, and then have Jesus as a different type of striker. But like you said, sometimes a player or a certain player fits a better system, and we see, bro, Martinelli is looked a difference maker, and he just got paid. Usually, when guys just get paid, they fall back. Yeah.
The same thing. It's because he just signed that contract. He's dropping form, but it's not that, obviously. It's because he was playing with Eddie, and Eddie obviously provides something different. But I'm glad he's picking it up, man. I know it's like smaller teams that he's playing against, but hey, man, he has 11 goals and like 3 assists in this season, dude. I was looking at it's a fun stat. I think Odegaard, Saka, and Martinelli have more goals combined than the whole Chelsea team this season, which is insane, man.
That's crazy. And that's wild. And now we're 5 points clear. I mean, at least right now, as far as we got
the game in hand. We always talk about the game in hand, and I'm glad we took that game in hand because we obviously lost points against Everton before. We needed that rematch, and we got it.
And even last year, bro, every time I would hear game in hand, game in hand, game in hand, and we choked it. So I'm like, now when I hear game in hand, I'm like, man, I don't care. I don't care about no game in hand if we don't take care of business, and which we did. So we look like a complete different team. We played Everton the first time, and they got the best of us. And then this time around, there was no playing. The Emirates was a fortress, and we just looked a complete different team. And I think it is a testament to Trossard coming in, and Martinelli and him being able to switch off, and even Trossard, bro. Trossard, like you said, bro, he's able to put goals in. He's able to do a job for us, and so these 2 signings, man, like I know they weren't the most exciting signings when you think of it. Like when you saw Trossard and Jorginho, and especially when we were linked to Mudryk early on in the window in early January, Moises Caicedo, we were both like, oh my God, Arsenal, man, we can't sign a big name for once, but with all that being said, it looks like, then again, I got to give Arteta credit and Edu and the board. They're putting together a team that is able to fill in roles and spots. And it looks like right now the Eagles are like, these guys, it doesn't seem like they have any locker room issues. Like everyone seems to be enjoying their football. Everyone seems to be enjoying their playing time. And so with that, how realistic is it to win the league? How realistic is it to win the league?
Man, I feel like I get asked this question like every day, man. By like every chat I'm in, every person that sees me wearing an Arsenal jersey. Um, man, as a fan, it's been too long, man. And it's the thing is, it gets emotional, it gets exciting because it's been so long since we last won the league, and we've supported this team through ups and downs, mostly downs recently, and we've always get we used to be a meme club, and I'll take it because we've gone through a shitload, man. So I mean, there's still 13 games to go. It's still a long way to go. We still gotta play City again. And City doesn't seem to be stopping form. Even with their struggles, they're still only 5 points behind us. And Man U is only 6 points. Well, 6 points behind City. They have a game in hand, so if they win that game, they'll be 52. They'll be 3 points behind City. So I mean, that's only one game if you think about it. Still a long way to go, man. I want to say we have a 75% chance of winning. I think I see it. We have Jesus coming back. The team looks amazing. Dude, you're gonna drop form here and there, but then you have other players that are gonna step up. Our defense has been solid. And it's crazy. Like we lost against City. If people actually watch that game, dude, I think City, that's the lowest percentage of possession they had in their entire history. With a team that loves to have the ball. Pep Guardiola's team. When you look at the stat like that, I know it's stats, Mr. Statman or whatever, doesn't mean anything. But that game was ours if we didn't have mistakes. And those are the things. We're still a young squad, and we're going to make mistakes. So I hope that, and right after that game, we came back and won, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we beat Aston Villa, then we beat Leicester City, which was a scrappy game, but, I mean, we still dominated that game, and then Everton today. So, as an Arsenal team last year, if we were in this spot, I would have said we would have choked this and we would have lost after a City, defeat. But this year, I think we're a complete different side. Like you said, like you mentioned, everyone seems to be together. Everyone seems to be as a family. We don't have it, at least publicly, we don't see any player issues with everybody else. Someone posted a video. Gabriel Magalhaes and William Saliba were arguing after the game, after like a Leicester City game. Bro, they weren't arguing. They were joking around. I'm pretty sure they were arguing who had the better game. Like, dude, they're like, yeah, bro. Like, it's simple things like that, bro. Like, last time I saw when Martinelli got hurt after he scored that goal, the team quickly huddled up around him. They were there to support him, everything. And I saw a video of Chelsea doing the same thing. I forget, one of their players was injured, and everybody was just like doing their own thing. I think like Mudryk and Joao Felix were kicking the ball together. So it's a whole different, like, you feel the team. They're together. They're a family. I feel like that's gonna play a big role in competing, man. And the thing is, I think we are, man. I don't know. I don't want to jinx anything, but I think we have the best chance we've ever had, man. Hopefully no injuries, cause Saka, man, that guy needs a break, and he's fucking balling out, dude. He's doing great, but I think we win this, man. I'm very confident, dude. I am very confident, but still 13 games to go, but I'm not gonna jinx anything. So, what do you think?
I'm with you. I'm right there with you, man. It's so realistic. With 13 games to go, I'm like I just hope that City here and there, like fumble a game here and there, because they're the ones that really do worry me. And then obviously everyone who's been watching is seeing how good United's been looking lately. And so with Casemiro and Rashford and the form that they're catching right now, they're also super scary. Those are the two teams that worry me, but more Man City. We all know how good Man City is. And even when, like you said, even when Man City is not Man Citying, they're looking like, they're always challenging. Every year it's a challenge for them. And I know they're going to try to push for Champions League for once. So I hope that distracts them a little bit. But it's going to be a tough battle, and it's going to go to the end. We have to be nearly perfect. Like, I think against them at least we cannot lose it. I would expect or want at least a draw, but the way we're playing and the camaraderie and how good we're playing as a team and a unit, I think this is the team to do it, man. And I still think we need more players, but right now is our chance. Like you said, bro. Like once you have a chance, swing for the fences.
Sorry, but like if you look at the next few games, right? At least for our games, next game we play Bournemouth. They're 19th. Obviously, it's the Prem. You can never like say anything. After that, we have Sporting. Decent competition, Europa League. I expect us to probably rotate a few players. I think, I think Arteta would prioritize Premier League over Europa League, which I think we put a much easier squad against them. And then after that, we play Fulham. And yeah, Fulham is a tough team, but I know they're not gonna have their holding mid, Paulinho. And then after that, Sporting again, and Crystal Palace after that. And then you look at City this week, and they play Newcastle. Newcastle doing great, tough opponent. Crystal Palace annoying to play at. I don't know if they're playing at City or Palace, but and then after that, Champions League again, Leipzig. They're gonna want to come back because they had a 1-1 draw in that game. After that, West Ham. West Ham be annoying, and then after that, you have Liverpool. So if you like look at head to head, the next 5 opponents on paper, they have a much tougher schedule. So I expect them to drop some points. Hopefully this weekend. Come on, Newcastle. Like, I mean, as it's hard to tell because obviously the Prem, but I think after these next 5 games will determine a lot. To be honest, it's tough opponents for them. So we'll see how many points they drop, and hopefully we don't drop anything.
And with Newcastle, I mean, they did this against us. Like if they get a quick goal, they're going to park the bus. And so if they can pull something like that against City, thank you. We'd be we'd be so appreciative. But it's gonna be tough. What was I gonna ask you? And so we were trolling a little bit about Chelsea. What do you think is going bad at Chelsea? I would love to ask this question to an actual Chelsea fan who watches them week in and week out. But as an Arsenal fan, as an outsider looking in, like, what do you think is going wrong with Chelsea, and what do you think they need to do in order to fix their situation?
Um, so I watch a lot of the Chelsea games. I mean, I watch the Prem in general, but I think it comes down to the way they're doing things, man. Their new owner comes in and wants to like. He literally just like he's. I feel like they have no real plan. They go out and buy Potter, right? I think he's one of the most expensive coaches paid in the world, whatnot, from Brighton, and that doesn't seem to be working out. After that, they go and buy Mudrik, that was linked to Arsenal. After that, they go buy Enzo. Like, dude, they just keep spending money everywhere, and I don't think they have a real plan. You have a whole bunch of players that have a whole. Everyone probably has a big ego, and it reminds me of Arsenal a couple seasons ago when you had all these like big name players or big heads, and they weren't providing anything. The younger players came in, and then they weren't looking forward to playing with them. I don't know, man. It seems like I don't think it's a coach. Everyone wants to blame the coach, but I get it because that was me too. Like, it's the easy like scapegoat route to go to, because we did the same thing. Everyone was Arteta out at first because he came in and we weren't getting results right away. But then it was different because we weren't going around spending all that much money all at once. And I think it's gonna take some time. I think Chelsea will be back eventually, but they deserve this, man. They really deserve this. They're ruining football, spending all this money, and they wanted a quick results, and you're not gonna get that. Not in the Prem, not anywhere. You're not gonna. You're not gonna. Yeah, you gotta. I think they need time to adapt. I mean, Enzo looked like a great player. Recently, he looked off form. Mudrik doesn't seem to be playing right. I mean, they're even playing what? How much are they paying? Like 12 mil for Joao Felix for 6 months. It's insane, man. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, they're 10th, so I don't know if Champions League is looking. I mean, they're still in Champions League. They play Dortmund. I know Thiago Silva's out, so that's a big. That's gonna hurt them a lot. I don't know where they go after this, man. Because I mean, and then you have financial fair play. If they miss out Europa or Champions League, like, where are you gonna get the money? I know your owner's fucking rich, but I don't know. The math ain't mathing, man. I don't know. So much you can do.
I'm right there with you, bro. Like, this transfer window, anyone who knows me as a friend of mine knows how upset I was seeing how they were spending the money. And it's not even about spending the money. It's just about the way they were conducting business, like talking about how, hey, they were ready to blow any offer out the water. They weren't really going by the player's valuation. Like Mudrik, they got him for 100. Like, people before that were still saying he was like a 65, $70 million player. and Enzo's not worth his release clause, and so they're just throwing the money at these players for these players, and they're not really realizing how important. You can't cheat the game. The game, football is a humbling sport. Like there's a reason, like there's a process to it. That's why you have youth academies. That's why you have all these coaches, all these directors. You have all these people, these trainers, and the fit is so important. Scouts, the fit is so important. You can't just, like you said, it's not a video game. Like in FIFA, it works because we just put a whole bunch of players that are 85, 90 overall rated players, and we can simulate it, and they can win results. But in real life, that's not how it works. Like some of these guys, you got to realize the fit, the language barrier. You got to realize like who you currently have on the team. Like that's one thing. That's another thing that I see Chelsea. They brought in all these players and they didn't get anyone really out. Like they tried to even loan out my man, and they weren't even yeah, Ziyech, and he ended up coming back. And I feel like even now when they play him, like to me, I feel like they're pity playing him. Like they're playing because they feel bad that they weren't able to finish that loan for him. And it's just like you have to be able to fit. Like, and I don't think it's just a fit. I just think that they're not scoring goals really, and like from top to bottom, their midfield is mid. So I just feel like yes, they do need to spend, but they need to spend properly. Like the amount of money they spent, they should have been able to get the right pieces, but they ended up getting more wing play. Excuse me, they have all the wing play in the world. They ended up getting just the wrong fits.
Like on paper, man, they have a great squad. Like I'm looking at their squad right now, and like yeah, we know they have a stacked squad, but it's actually insane, dude. You have so many like great like world class players, and I think it might come down to the coach, man, because it's not even his fault. I think it's the owner's fault because I can't really blame the coach if you have players that he probably didn't even ask for. Like I'm sure the owner's like, oh, Arsenal want this player, okay, I'm gonna go and spend more on him. Man, you want this player, I'm gonna go and grab him. Barca wants this player, I'm gonna go steal him. Because I have the money, I can offer him more. So I feel like that comes down as a player. I know for Arteta, for example, and I don't like to compare, but they gave him time. He got the players out that he wanted within time, and then he brought the players that he wanted in each spot. Everyone was criticizing who the hell is Ramsdale, who the hell is Ben White, you know.
I'll eat that humble pie any day.
Dude, everybody's like Chenchenko, he doesn't even start for City, and it's crazy. Like I'm sure if you gave Potter a list of players that he wanted out and a list of players he wanted in, half the team that he has now he probably didn't even want. Like I'm sure he wanted a winger, but did he want a 100 million Mudryk player that came from not a top 5 league? No. Like it's tough, man. So I feel like end of the day, I feel like the coach and the board they have a big part to when it comes to like blaming the team, because I mean they're stacked, bro. They're stacked. Like Koulibaly, Thiago Silva, Chilwell, Cucurella, Fofana, Chabola, Aspilicueta, Reece James, the new French center back, midfield: Kovacic, Kante, Zakaria, Mason Mount, Loftus-Cheek, Gallagher, Lewis Hall, Enzo Fernandez. Dude, our attackers: Aubameyang, Raheem Sterling, Ziyech, Joao Felix, Kai Havertz, Pulisic, which I know is injured, Modric, Broja, which is injured as well, Fofana, Maduk, or whatever the English player. Dude, and Nkunku, bro, I think that's a big issue. I think the players that they have, I don't think the coach wanted it, and he's not gonna. This doesn't fit their system. It does not fit their system, because if you did look at Potter's job at Brighton, man, he did amazing, and Brighton's still doing good, but it's just probably because that was the system that he wanted, the players that he wanted, and he made it work. And I think they need to give him time. I mean, just give him time, because I want to keep them seeing them lose.
Yeah. don't lose to Leeds. Y'all need to beat Leeds. But I was gonna ask you, do you think a manager like not a Conte, like a Mourinho, or like a more stern manager that can kind of deal with, like, not necessarily. Yeah, correct. Like I feel like a certain, like, even I watch a lot of basketball. Like even in basketball, like sometimes you need a coach that like will put his foot down. Not necessarily a player's coach. Like I love a player's coach. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes like a Steve Nash, right? As soon as Steve Nash got fired, they started winning again. So it's like, do you think Potter is more of like when I think of Graham Potter, I think of like him being able to fix a situation on a mid-table club. But when I think of a Chelsea, I feel like the job is too big for him. Do you agree with that, or do you think that he's a good enough coach to or manager to fix the situation?
So it's tough because I mean, like I said, at Brighton he looked really good and he managed a mid-table club like you said, but they gave all the top clubs like a challenge. But yeah, I think it might be, man. I think, but then it reminds me of Arteta. Like when Arteta came into Arsenal, everyone was like, "It's too big," the team is too big for him. Like he Arteta out, like it was trending all the time. And don't get me wrong, that was me, like I mentioned, because obviously as a team you want instinct success. You want the best for your club, and maybe, man, because I feel like they're not gonna give him time. I feel like the owner, like, what's his name, Boehly? What's his name? Bowley. I feel like he's gonna get annoyed because he looks annoyed at the games. Like when he goes to the games, he looks annoyed. Like, damn, I spent all this much money and you're not giving me instant results. So I feel like if he loses the next game against Leeds, like everyone's saying, and probably the next one, maybe they'll give him another game after that. He's gone. And I don't know who they bring in. Like, who are they gonna bring in? But I guess Mourinho. I don't think he's up for the challenge. Maybe. I mean, he was at Chelsea before.
But that means but for him to do that, these billionaire owners, I would assume these guys are kind of prideful. For him to do that, that means he's admitting that he was wrong because he paid the release clause, and like you said, he's one of the most compensated managers out there. If he does that, which I can see it happening, but if he does do it, that means he would formally admit that he was wrong. And who do you bring in that's available? Poach, like
Yeah.
you got to see who's available too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who you bring in, to be honest. Because then I think if they get rid of Potter, I think you have to pay his contract. Dude, I don't understand why they got rid of.
He was gonna challenge anything Bowie wanted to do. So I'm telling you, like even the whole Ronaldo thing. Like I know Bowie wanted Ronaldo, and he was like, "No, I don't want Ronaldo." And he brought in Aubameyang, and Aubameyang sold him in Champions League play. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. But like that, yeah, you're then firing two managers theoretically in like a 6 month span. That's a lot of money, and I know the fan base is gonna be harping it. They're gonna be like, look, if you have 500 plus to spend on players, you need to go figure out how to get us a manager that's gonna take us to the next level. And like I said, I think they just need a established manager. They cannot give it up to a project. Like, no offense, like I love Arteta now, but Arteta when he first came on, a lot of people like you said, a lot of people were in the same boat. Like, you're gonna give it to a 35+ year old, however year old he was, who doesn't have any real managerial experience. I think with Chelsea, I think they cannot afford to give the club to someone like Arteta. Which, like I said, I love Arteta now, but I'm saying in the sense like you can't really give it to like a younger manager. That's just my opinion. You got to give it to someone who's had skin in the game and someone who was put their foot down and not take any BS from any of the players, because right now that locker room is probably in shambles, bro.
It's crazy because I know he compared himself to Arteta. He's like, when Arteta got there, results weren't happening, and maybe now they are. It's like the difference is when Arteta got there, bro. He had to clean up everything. And dude, Arteta won 2 cups as soon as he got there. Like, I know, like, it's not the same. But, I mean, dude, you the squad you have, and I guess like it's not his fault, but dude, Arteta did it with a shitty ass squad, bro. Like, then there's like 2 players that are still there that Arteta had when he managed, and those are Saka and Shaka. Literally, his first starting 11. I was looking at the graph. His first starting 11 was dude. I don't even remember who it was, but the first starting 11 he had. The only 2 players that are still at the club are Saka and Shaka, and that's when Saka was playing at left back. It complete rebuild. And you can't even call this a rebuild if you have players that are worth 100 mil, 100 plus. Like,
You can't sell them. You just got them.
yeah,
Yeah, there's no selling them. You just got them. So they got to figure out how to make it work. And then, like you said, like with Arteta, he had to completely rebuild the project. Chelsea doesn't have time to say, "Oh, this is a project." Ain't no project, bro. You spend this much money, you're spending that to win now, yeah. and so I'm curious to see what they do. But I'm not trying to bash on Chelsea. But any of my Chelsea friends, please hit me up. Let me know if you're trying to talk about it. I mean, therapy session. I'm not gonna troll you, maybe a little bit, but it'll be a good conversation to have just to see where your guys' heads are at. But then again, I think we'll wrap it up like that. But Arsenal, top of the league. Hopefully, we finish there. Fingers crossed. And guys, thanks for watching the episode. Leave a like, subscribe, tell friends about us. And then if you guys are in the DMV area and you want to join or hop on the pod for an episode, let me know. Yeah.
We'll do anything. Well, if you guys want to do we do football, we do basketball. Like we'll hop on anything. We stick to the Premier League because that's we enjoy it and we're having a good season. But if you guys are down for anything, football, basketball, we watch it all, man. So leave it in the comments or DM us.
Like that. You heard the man. We are out. Peace.